Yo, what's up guys? I just wanted to make a quick video for y'all today about gearing your character up and staying with the curve as you level through the axe. I know a lot of people are struggling right now on getting gear and gear drops because they seem to be quite low. So I'm going to include some things in here that should help you increasing your gear and scaling your build in general. Alright, let's get into it. So the first thing I'd like to talk about is checking all vendors as you level up throughout the axe. You can check them every single level because vendors do reset, their entire shop will reset each time you level, but I wouldn't recommend coming back to town every single time. But I would keep a note in mind that when you're leveling up, your vendors are resetting and you can be capitalizing off of that. To make that trip a little easier, you can use something called a regex. A regex is just a string of tags that you type into the search bar here that'll search for specific items for you, so you don't have to do the work looking through every single item like this. So say I want a wand with plus level of skill gems, but I also want this regex to work for movement speed boots. Then you would type in skills for the skill gems, put this little line here, it's under backspace, I don't know what this is called, but put a line there and then type in movement, and you can put another line and type in something else. So that's resistance. Now this regex is searching for any item with plus level of skills, movement speed, or elemental resistance. Like this has plus 1 level of all spell skills. And then you can just copy these regexes, and then every time you level up, you just come back to town real quick, put it in, see nothing, go next. It's very simple, and I'd highly recommend it. The next thing I'd like to talk about is the Salvage Bench, which I'm not quite sure how many people even know this thing exists, but basically, you can use the Salvage Bench to salvage equipment items with quality or sockets for quality currency and artificer shards. Artificer shards and quality currency are used to upgrade your gear. Quality currencies are these right here, blacksmith whetstones, which is used to improve the quality of a martial weapon, and armorist scraps, which improves the quality of an armor. Quality increases the base stats of the item, but not the implicit. The implicit is the line at the very top of the item. Let me find one that has it. Like this, accuracy rating. That's an implicit. But on this armor, the quality would not increase an implicit if it had it, but it increases the evasion rating, or armor rating, or whatever it is. That's what quality does. For artificer orbs add a rune socket to a weapon or your armor, and rune sockets are insane. They help you round out the resistances for your build or add flat damage in there. They're very helpful. And both of these quality items and artificer orbs are quite rare throughout the story. But with the Salvage Bench, you can salvage any item that has sockets on it, and you'll get an artificer shard for every single socket it has. So we got 2 here. And if you get 10 shards, it becomes an artificer orb that you can use on your gear. For quality, if you salvage any item with quality on it, you'll get I don't quite know how many you get based on the quality, but you get a certain amount of blacksmith whetstones for weapons or armor scraps for armors. So I would definitely recommend picking up all gear with sockets and quality, at least the sockets. You'll have a lot more trips to town, but it's worth it. The third thing I'd like to talk about that y'all should be doing is disenchanting all rares that you find. Because disenchanting is a mechanic that's at one of the vendors in the town you're at. I'm not quite sure the name of all of them, but for Act 1, it's Una. And you can come here and disenchant items, and disenchanting items will give you back shards based on the rarity of the item. So blue items, you get the augmentation shards, and rare items, you get regal shards. And regal shards are amazing because you get regal orbs from 10 of them. Regal orbs are very rare from what it seems like, and they're quite good for gearing up. So whenever you pick up any rare item, instead of selling the item, I would disenchant it for that regal shard. You'll get 1 regal shard for any item with 5 or less stats, or 2 for anything above that. Alright, now that we've talked about the things you can do in town, I would also like to talk about how you can scale your skills and how to really read what your skill actually is. So every skill in the game has something called a tag or tags, And these tags are located right at the top of the skill. Like this lightning arrow here has AOE, projectile, lightning, and chaining. And these tags are modifiers of which the skill scale off of. So this lightning arrow would scale off of AOE, projectile, lightning, or chaining modifiers. When building your tree and gearing your character, it's really important to know what tags your main skills have so you know what you're going for. Alright, other than the tag system, there is a bit more to skills themselves that you should know, such as the difference between attack and spell skills. They do scale a little differently, and it's important to know it before you mess up and get the wrong stats on your gear. So attack skills, as they level up, scale off of a percentage of your flat attack damage. And you can see that here, right under the attack speed, it says attack damage 198%. This means that lightning arrow does 198% of my base attack damage. And your base attack damage is all of your attack damage across your gear, such as this add fire, add lightning, just added together before modifiers, like percent fire damage, percent cold damage, before all that, just the flat damage itself. So attacks scale off of flat, and as you level them up, the amount of flat damage they scale off of, the percentage goes up. So if I socket this in, it becomes level 16, and now it's scaling off of 218%. So for attack gems, it is much better to add flat damage to your build than it is to add level of skills, because you'll get a lot more value out of that flat damage than the little bit of percentage you'll get from getting those extra gem levels. So I'd prioritize on your weapons and on your gear getting that flat damage for your attacks over plus gems. However, for spells, it's the opposite. Spells have flat damage built into them, and they don't scale off of your flat damage, it just adds to them. Such as this spark deals 1 to 21 lightning damage built into it, and as you level this spark up, that deals 1 to 21 will increase. So getting plus level of skill gems for this spark would give you a much better damage increase than trying to get that flat damage on your gear. So it's important to remember that for attacks, flat damage is better, but for spells, gem levels are better. The last thing I'd like to cover for y'all today is getting defense for your character. The main thing I would focus on when building your character's defense is the base stat that your character scales with. So every character in this game, every different class, every time they level up, gain a certain amount of these attributes here. An example is the ranger, when she levels up, gets dexterity. The witch gets intelligence. The monk gets intelligence and dexterity. The warrior gets strength, and the marauder gets strength and dexterity. This is important because gear has required attributes to it, and it's important to wear the gear that your character is built for. So witches should be wearing energy shield gear, because energy shield gear is what has intelligence on it. This is what requires intelligence for it. And same for every other class. Warriors should be wearing armor gear because they have a lot of strength. Rangers should be wearing evasion gear because you have a lot of dexterity. And it's really important to keep it thorough throughout your build. If you're going full evasion, go all the way, because you'll get a lot more benefit pumping one stat than you will trying to get a whole bunch of stats. Also, other than evasion and armor rating and energy shield, I would focus on getting items with life and any kind of elemental resistance. Items like this will carry you through the entirety of the axe so well. There is no other way to scale your defense better than just getting some nice life, some nice resistance. Alright, while editing this video, I said a couple things about defense that I didn't go into enough that I'd like to explain a bit more. I would like to make it very clear that no class is made for a specific stat. You're not forced to play evasion as a ranger. The whole point of this game is to spread out and try everything as different classes. Have a wand as a ranger, whatever. But I was just trying to emphasize on, it's a lot easier to scale evasion as a ranger than it is to scale armor. And so if you're newer to the game, or if you're earlier on in the axe, I would recommend going for evasion for ranger or energy shield for witch, but it's not the end all be all. It's just, it's important to know. It's important that I said that. Thank you. Alright, but that's all I got for y'all today. Thank you for watching. If you would like to see more videos like this, let me know in the comments below, or come check me out at twitch.tv/eclipse. Thank you for watching. Peace out.